Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about tranquilpoet.com. And the first thing we're going to do is head to the site. Tranquil with two L's, like a writing quill. So here we are, pretty plain Jane as far as looks, but it has a lot to offer. And what this site does is it's a text assist that helps students when they're writing poetry. So this is a really awesome device to use in a mobile classroom. So when the students are able to have laptops and smartphones and tablets, you can pull Tranquility up and they can just type their poems, and I'm going to show you some of the things, some of the ways that it can help them more specifically. So let's see. Say we're ready to type and it tells us your poem goes here, no more need you fear. So a really cute little rhyming couplet there, and that's how all the instructions are and information in the about section too. So that's just a nice touch. But what happens is we type a line of poetry, and if you'll notice out to the side, it counts the number of syllables that we have in each line. So as I delete, it changes. So now I have 5 lines. Now I'm back to 8. So that's one good feature. The other great feature is over here where we see rhyme scheme. And if you'll notice out to the side, it says AABB. We can change that to whatever rhyme scheme we want to use in our poem. So let's just keep it at that for now while I'm just showing you how it works. And as soon as I start typing, it's going to come up with a list of words that rhyme with poetry. So let me put my first letter. Now it doesn't give us any matches, so it's telling me that nothing perfectly rhymes with poetry. I guess that's a word like orange, but we have a lot of near matches here. So this is a good teachable moment for slant rhyme too. But so that's just the basic functionality of tranquilpoet.com. Now, the reason this is a great tool for a mobile classroom and for mobile learning is because it really hits on 2 of the 4 C's. Creativity and communication. So it helps students when they're writing poetry, it helps them to become creative because it takes away the fear and intimidation of writing fixed form poetry. So instead of having to worry about counting out syllables each time you write something different, the site does it for you. Instead of having to think, oh, I can't, I really want to say this, but I can't think of anything that rhymes with it. The site gives you these ideas. So it just really opens it up and takes away the intimidation. So when that fear is gone, then I feel like students are more likely to be more creative. And then obviously it helps them communicate because poetry is a form of communication. So they're expressing themselves here. And again, with the fear and intimidation of the meter and the rhyme scheme gone, they should be better communicators and more willing to take some risk too. So that's an awesome thing. So to show you how this could work, I have a little poem. I'm going to be honest, I already wrote it out just to help us with time here. So I'm going to keep this AABB rhyme scheme going. And I'm going to say, writing poetry can be really hard. Face it, not everyone. Okay, so I'm at a point and I want to express that not everyone can do it, but I have to have this AABB rhyme scheme. So I need something that rhymes with hard. So I'm looking at my matches to the right. Shard, no. Guard, marred. Oh, I see something I like. Bard. I'm thinking Shakespeare, capital B, Bard. So I can say, not everyone can be the bard. Okay, now if you'll look over to the side here, I see that I have 9 syllables in my first line. I have 10 syllables in my second line. So if I want to make it all 10, I can go back and add a word in here and play with it. And again, that's encouraging that creativity. It's encouraging that honing those communication skills. Or I can just keep it as is if my teacher's fine with that or if I'm fine with that. So let's do a third line. Thank goodness for tranquilpoet.com. Okay, now, here's something I do want to point out. When we read this, we're going to read 9 syllables because we're counting dot. In the .com, well, we would read that out and that would count as a syllable. So really, we'd still have 9 syllables right here to the side, even though the computer only picks up 8. Now, obviously, that's a small glitch in the system, but I still think that it's a good thing because we don't want this site to do the work for the students. Remember, we're trying to hone those creativity and communication skills. So we still want the student to have to think while they're working on this. Tranquility just takes the scary parts of writing poetry out of it. So again, it's not perfect, but that's really a good thing. So let's finish up here. As soon as I start typing, because we're on this AABB rhyme scheme, it's going to start putting up words that rhyme with calm. So without it, I might have, I'm going with mom here. And that's what I want to rhyme with. Might have had to call mom. So there you go. We have our little poem. We can add a title. Every poem needs a title. A poet's problems. How about that? And the students, in addition to helping them take the fear out of it, they're going to be more interested in writing poetry because it's still exciting to be on the computer, to do something different than just writing on pen and paper. And so the students can have their laptops in front of them. They can have their smartphone out or their tablet. Tranquil Poet will pull up on all these things very quickly, actually. And so there's that motivational aspect too, and we know that that's going to increase student achievement as well. Another great thing about this is that I know that as an English teacher, sometimes it is challenging to help students think of words that rhyme when they're trying to write a poem. And so that helps the teacher too, and kind of, especially for teachers, maybe newer teachers or teachers that just are a little bit scared of poetry themselves. It helps them as well because they can, you know, say, well, let's check it out on Tranquil Poet. Let's type it in and see what we're working with. And then they have that aid as well. So we're looking at limitations and maybe future recommendations. We know that one really, really motivating factor is when students can publish their work. Tranquil Poet doesn't have a way to publish online. And I think that that could be something that Tranquil Poet could move towards in the future. That way, when students finish a poem, they can hit submit and it goes on, you know, some database or some site where people can search their poetry, and you know their poem could pop up when people are Googling. And I think that would be something that would be really motivating too, to know that they have such a big audience after they're finished. And then the second thing, and this is a minor issue, but there's not an easy way to print off of Tranquility. If you'll see, you can't do anything other than copy and paste. So all we can do is copy this and then put it into Microsoft Word. So it's not smooth when we want to print, but it's not impossible either. If they're just using it as an aid in class, then it could definitely be great. So kind of like a hybrid there, still using the pen and paper, but relying on the tools that Tranquil Poet has to offer. So that's what I have to show you for tranquilpoet.com. Again, this is a great mobile learning tool, and it could be used in any class. Obviously, it would be great for the English classroom when we're writing poetry, but you know, who knows? You might write a poem about an atom in science class, or something about a historical event in social studies. So it could be used in any subject area, and it's a great tool for students to really help with that creativity and communication, and make them a little more motivated because they're still getting to work online and have that that technology aspect that they've grown accustomed to. So again, tranquilpoet.com, and I hope you have learned a little bit about the site, and we'll try it out in your classrooms.